Alright, today we need to do a trade recap. By the way, I just realized I didn't address why I didn't do a trade recap for day 5 of the profitability series. Uh, Only because I passed the account that day and it was kind of just a $280 trade that there was no point in me like really making a trade recap because there was no real trade. I just clicked buy and I was done. So yeah, I didn't really do anything for that. But anyway, today's trade recap. Here we go. So today I took 2 trades, not the greatest trades. Now, why do they always disappear? I don't know why. I have the executions on, but it always disappears for some reason. Um I don't know if it's because there's like a time limit on them or something, or maybe because I refreshed the page. Whatever. But I took a bullish trade. I don't even remember anymore. I took a bullish trade somewhere around here, ended up closing out for like 100 something, and then I took a bearish trade somewhere around here, right here, and then I ended up closing for like 600, 700. Ended off the day at 782. Oh, because I'm not connected to my account. That's why. That's why. Yep, right here. So I entered here, um, right at this position. Yeah. Stops were right here. Ended up closing on this candle at the low, basically. But I was targeting a lot. I could have just targeted this and caught like $1,000, or no, something like this. It was like $900, but I didn't want to. I actually wanted to take a real trade. Targeted like 214 because we moved 100, 200 something in Asia session, and I was like, we've already done a decent amount of pointage, so let's just target something small. It ended up coming down back all the way. And then this trade right here, uh, ended up taking at the 50% of this fair value gap, stops right at this high. At first, I wanted to take full profit, I believe it was here, but then I saw, no. Yes, yes. Then I saw this close on the ISP, and I was kind of worried because then we started consolidating. I ended up pulling stops back down to like this level. Ended up getting stopped out, which is fine. It's not horrible or anything. But obviously I could have caught more, 89 points here, but ended up closing that trade for about 757. So were these bad trades? Not necessarily. Were they great? Nah, no, they weren't. Could I have done better? Absolutely. I could have taken full at after I saw this candle right here. But I was just like, potentially we could go continue higher. But then I realized, like we need some form of a retracement to take out some liquidity. So, I might as well just pull stops up. I pulled stops up to this level right here, which was this low, the low on this candle, ended up getting stopped out, whatever, right? And then I entered here. I, at first, had an order block marked here, and I wanted to get in on the 50% of this order block. But then the reason I didn't was because this candle opened and it was so strong up here, I thought we might break above it. We ended up not breaking above it, came back lower. So when we came back into this fair value gap, I took 50% of the fair value gap, and then this candle came out of nowhere, and then I had stops up here, and I was like, it's a little bit of a risk, but I'll just hold. Ended up holding, and we had these 2 candles down here, which were very strong, and then I pulled stops up to here after I took out half, and then the other half got stopped here. What I should have done instead was pull stops to this right here, this candle low, and I would have probably been safe because my full TP was right here. Now, as for emotions, I was a little shaky on emotions purely because this specific prop firm account that I have, it's intraday drawdown. So technically that 900 that was open P&L up here, technically the account drawdown pulled up to 900, which means since I ended up closing on 100, that meant that my drawdown got pulled up 900, even though I only made 100, which meant that I only had like $600 of room left to trade with. So I was kind of shaky, and I ended up closing this a little earlier than I would have liked. But it pulled my drawdown, or it kept my drawdown at 900, but pulled my actual account balance up to 767. Sorry. Um, and honestly, I'm okay with that. I think it was definitely risky for me to hold, especially because I might have gotten greedy and then actually pulled stops down here, and then we could have done this whole thing, and it would have just been all worth nothing, right? So yeah, unfortunate as it is, I didn't have a great trade today, but you know, it still ended up doing pretty decent. And so now I should go ahead and add today's trading day right here, and I ended up making $767 and a few cents of change. Yeah, 50 cents, but I don't really care about the cents. So yeah, $767 on the day, but yeah, that's basically it. So that's just gonna wrap up the trade journal. Hopefully everybody had a good trading day. Hopefully everybody will have one tomorrow. I hope that I will tomorrow. Oh, and I completely forgot, this Friday is actually a bank holiday, so we don't even need a Friday what's it called, a Friday prediction, right? Because this Friday we actually have, because it's the Saturday before July 4th, right? So we get a USD bank holiday. So yeah, and then Thursday we get NFP, which is fine. Yeah, because this account I can't trade NFP, but because it's at 7:30 a.m., which is 8:30 a.m. New York time, I should be good. And then I think I can trade during Fed chairman talks. I don't think I can trade during FOMC meeting minutes. So Fed chair talks, I can definitely trade. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so I'm gonna have 2 more trading days for this remaining week. So far my 2 predictions were right. I don't think within the next 47 minutes market is gonna drop over 600 or over 530 points. I don't think market's going to drop like that. So I was right. We ended up pushing past this liquidity void. And now because Wednesday is the wild card day and we wait off the reaction of the liquidity void, I'm a little more confident in seeing Wednesday be bullish here as well. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty confident in Wednesday being bullish. There is a possibility that it goes bearish, but there's a liquidity void here that we have filled, and we have where we're gonna close above. So I want to see maybe Wednesday come back in, tap the liquidity void, and use it as a reaper, or not a reaper. This is only 2, so BPR. Hopefully we can do something like that. And if we can, it'll be good for Thursday to also go bullish. I was gonna say Tuesday fills the liquidity void, then Wednesday bearish, Thursday bearish, but because we close above the liquidity void here, I want to see Wednesday and Thursday bullish, right? The full week being bullish. But yeah, that's my hypothesis for the remainder of the week. Hopefully everybody has a good trading week, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.